All right, let's start. Welcome to another edition. Everyone ready? Everyone set? Let's go. Welcome to another edition of Bro Talk Live, the best show on the internet for you by us. Bro Talk, we're always on the market. Your man, Jason, in the director's seat, man in the station. Let's kick it over to my main man. Woo, 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 woo. Dex.
Oh, Dexter's here. Super excited to be here. Look, guys, daylight saving time tried to take me out. I'm legit shocked that I'm sitting here with you guys right now because legit 3 minutes ago the boy was knocked out.
It messed you up?
Like totally messed me up. I came out of work today and the sun was still out. I said, "Oh, I got to work early today." Will, Ty, what's up, guys?
So you're not the only one being worn out by daggone daylight savings time because I can't get to work on time. I woke up this morning, it was 7 o'clock. I'm like, it's only 6 o'clock. What's happening?
So you guys on the Trump thing where you guys like want to get rid of or abolish daylight savings time?
No,
yes.
No, I like
get rid of it. Get rid of it. I am
telling you, like now that the sun is out, like when I get out for work, like when it warms up a little bit, like I'll actually go like to the gym and stuff. Like I'll do that now. Versus when it's dark outside, I just gotta go hibernate.
We need to go on back an hour and leave it be. What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
So you only go to the gym when it's warm? Or like light outside? Is that what
I mean, Jason, have you taken a look at me? Clearly, I don't go to the gym with anything.
All right. Tyler Gott, how are you?
I'm also being worn out by daylight savings time, but I'm actually doing okay. So things are going well. I'm always tired. Who cares?
That's
It's like a state. It's like a constant state of being at this point.
That's called being 30.
And Wilhelm. Oh,
I
you
mean,
just said
again,
like saving time was wearing you out.
But listen, I'm in the land of living, so I ain't complaining. Like, you know, I'm all right.
So what's the other land called? We always hear about the land of the living. What is the
Dead? Land of the dead, land of the lost. Remember that the TV show Land of the Lost?
I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Fire and brimstone, I think it's the other land.
You never heard of the TV show Land of the Lost, Jason?
No. What is that?
You're a loser. Keep going.
You're a loser.
Stun of the Year is a category that we typically have for the Bro Talk Awards, but this year we have a lot of contenders already, and it's just starting to be March. March Madness starts off with a bang. If you haven't heard, this thing called Operation Varsity Blues, and what Operation Varsity Blues happens to be is the crime scheme that has busted none other than Aunt Becky. Aunt Becky from Full House, Lori Loughlin, and Felicity Huffman are facing charges because apparently they have used shady tactics, including bribes, made up sports histories, and entrance exam cheatings to get their kids accepted into top colleges, according to an indictment unsealed in Boston. Now, they say there's 33 parents involved, 9 coaches from schools including Yale, Stanford, USC, Wake Forest, and Georgetown. And get these are the sports that basically these people lied about saying that they were recruited for: soccer, water polo, tennis, and volleyball. So we know there probably weren't many black parents infiltrated as part of this study. There's also 2 SAT and ACT administrators and an exam proctor that was looking at. Now, apparently this guy named William Singer, it's always a William, ran always. He ran a college prep company called The Key and allegedly facilitated the whole scheme. Prosecutors say that he bribed college coaches to put students on recruited athletes lists, and they say that the coaches were aware that the students weren't recruitable. And NPR even says that in the case of a woman soccer recruit, the student didn't even play soccer. Payments were made to the guy for about between $250,000 and $450,000, but one payment is said to have forked $6.5 million. That person must have had a really stupid kid. You got to pay $6 million to get your kid in college? God damn! Like seriously, good golly. Apparently, he's taken in $25 million. Twitter for their role in it. They never disappoint. This is what they had to say about. Well, hold on. We'll have sound in a second. Dex, what do you think about Lori Loughlin Aunt Becky getting caught up in this?
Okay, so like I look at it like it's stupid. Like, you know, if your kids didn't have the grades, whatever, to get into school, to pay to get them in there is kind of crazy. But I also think like everybody does stuff like this. Like, I mean, maybe not this exact way, go out and do like a whole scheme with it or whatever, but you're gonna do the very best that you can do, you know, for your children or whatever. So like, I'm not like bothered by it. It's just kind of like silly to me. What I do want to know, well, initially, until I realized who her husband was, I was like, where did Aunt Becky get that money from? Like, where did you come up with that type of money?
It was loaded. Apparently, she paid $500,000 herself, $500,000, for her daughter to get into USC, I believe it was.
2 kids. She has 2 daughters.
2 of them getting into USC.
She paid $500 a piece.
No, I think total. I mean, that's the price you got to pay when you delivering dummies.
Ty, how do you feel about students that were not admitted to these colleges because people like Lori Loughlin was sitting here paying people $500,000 to get their kid into the school?
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame, but I'm not really concerned for that. Like these schools, they're always doing shady stuff, always happening. That's how they stay open. Like these people just got caught. They've probably been doing this for years. Like I'm sure this isn't a new thing.
Right.
Like how George Bush get into some of those colleges. Like it is what it is. That's what they do.
Because he absolutely didn't have the grades for Yale.
And what school did Donald Trump go to?
University of Pennsylvania.
Wharton.
Business.
Like how do you think he got in?
And he is dumb as a pile of bricks.
Like that's what these people do. Money talks, bull crap walks. It is what it is. None of these people are going to jail.
You know what Trump probably put on his Wharton application?
Money talks, bull crap walk.
I promise you to get a wall. I'll build you a wall. Some people donate libraries. I'll donate a wall. That's what he probably promised then, a wall. And they were like, come on in.
Do you think that she should face jail time for this? She's looking at, I think it's a felony.
Hashtag lock her up.
Lock her up.
Absolutely not. Like this is no. Like we're not gonna be ridiculous.
In jail. Why not?
Your lesson.
This does sound like first off, they've learned their lesson. Felicity Huffman, who played on Desperate Housewives, which by the way, this sounds like a Desperate Housewife like storyline. The fact that Felicity Huffman was arrested in her neighborhood and taken off to jail, she learned her lesson. That woman is mortified.
Oh my God. I mean, I probably agree with Dex. Nature's taking its courses. Both of their kids are dummies, so.
All right. Well, they don't really. People were saying that she should have just been able to call up USC and say that, look, I'm Lori Loughlin, and you think that would have worked? Do people know her well enough?
No, because they would have been like. They would have been like going to the press. Lori Loughlin, the nerve of her to call us up and just tell her, you know who I am. But as soon as she offer a couple of dollars, they're like, all right, you can come
in. They probably didn't know who she was. She probably did call. That was the problem. She called and they were like, who? Well, if you are who you say, send us a check.
She's like, I'm Lori Loughlin. Can I have my kid? They were like, who? She's like, I'm Becky. They were like, oh, cut the check.
Cut the check. Prove it.
Prove it. How's she gonna prove it?
What's in your wallet? That's
like, let me say, do people even know who she is by name?
No.
Whatever happened to a meritocracy? The class rank, the GPA, even SAT. Everywhere you look, everywhere there's a prize, a school to pay price to. Everywhere you look, everywhere a white face of somebody whose mom's screwed. Everywhere you look, when your kid's not right, just get on the phone. Pay $500,000 to get them enrolled. Everywhere you look.
I think that was pretty well done. Twitter does not waste time. All right, time for an update on Jussie Smollett, our favorite criminal, allegedly. I still don't think he's lying. Here we go. He walked into court today to go to a hearing about whether or not they would have cameras during his trial. And here's him walking into the courtroom. Someone said they looked like Men in Black when they walked in because they all got on They all got on shades and they black coats. They look like the Matrix.
Jussie, anything you want to say?
Pop, daughter, pop.
Pop, daughter, pop. So yeah, Jussie was there. He decided to not say anything to anyone as he was walking into the court. He did not have to be there today, but he did want to make sure that the cameras were turned on in the courtroom when he does have his court appearance, because this is what his lawyer said the reasoning is.
There has been a lot of misinformation in this case that has been presented as fact and evidence against Mr. Smollett, which is demonstrably false. We welcome cameras in the courtroom so that the public and the media can see the actual evidence and what we believe is actually going to be the lack of evidence against Mr. Smollett. And we look forward to complete transparency and the truth coming out.
All right, there you go. So guys, do you have a good feeling that because Jussie wants cameras in the courtroom that he's not afraid? Do you think that he might be telling the truth now because he wants transparency? Dex, what you think?
I just think for you guys listening on the podcast, I apologize, but you probably seen this video by now. But I think if Jussie would have rehearsed the attack as well as he rehearsed the walk-in, like, we wouldn't be here.
Talk good. Now you preaching. Listen, get this man an offering plate, okay? Because the only thing he's interested in is having OJ slide over and having his trial, the trial of the century. This was an event for him, and he strolled in there like this was an event, and that's all he wants.
So that's why he wants the cameras, because he wants to make it an event.
He wants to make it he wants a moment. Here's your moment.
The spectacle, is that what we want? Okay. Todd, does this make you believe Jussie now that he seemingly wants the court to have the cameras on so that they can't screw him like they've been screwing him so far?
No, him wanting the cameras there is just arrogance. Just like
Arrogance.
Arrogance. Like just like him doing that interview. Like he's gonna assume that we're gonna believe his story. Like if I get on camera and I'm super serious, I tell this stupid story, people are gonna believe me, but he actually made it worse. And that's exactly what the cameras the second time are gonna do. Cameras always make it worse. It's better to send off a transcript like Donald Trump does.
So you don't think this is going to work out well for Jussie?
No, that if he allows cameras there, he's guaranteed to go to jail.
Okay, Dex, you don't feel any better about this?
Oh, I feel amazing about it. I think he's going to jail. I feel great.
So I'm still the only one holding out hope. Like I don't know. I feel like he's too confident for me to be lying. Like he's really confident.
Good liars are confident. That's what liars do. They're confident because they think they got you. They think they got you full. Well, guess what, Jussie? You got to wake up early to outslick a can of oil. You can't get us over here. We know you're lying. We know it.
All right.
He's been bamboozled and hoodwinked. But guess what? We know that we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us.
He's going off. Time for an update on another criminal that we've been following all year, R. Kelly. Since the last time we talked, R. Kelly had the full interview with Gail, where he stood up on his feet and Gail seemed unbothered. We also had the interview with R. Kelly's girlfriends, Azriel and what's the other one's name? Joycelyn
Sanchez. Joycelyn Savage.
Yeah, Joycelyn Savage and Azriel. I'm not sure. That's the one that had the attitude. In the black.
The one that has the attitude.
She did. She had that nasty attitude with Gail. And then the black, Gail asked her, what y'all be doing in the bed? Do y'all have a threesome relationship in the bed? She said, hold up. I was not talking about my bedroom with anybody. And as a woman, I was God, nasty.
Gail was wrong in that.
Gail said she said I'm bad.
We want to know what's going on.
We want to know what's going on.
America's curious.
Don't come out here with a piece of the story. We want it all now.
Soon after that interview, R. Kelly was escorted to jail because the leniency that the judge gave him on paying over $160,000 in child support had expired. So the judge decided to put his ass in jail until he was able to pay it. Of course, he was able to pay it because he got bailed out once again, this time by someone who decided not to sign the bail notice. So we do not know. The only person that knows apparently is the lawyer and R. Kelly, who paid this lump sum of cash. R. Kelly, for his part, had this to say while he was exiting jail.
Thanks for the order, guys. I promise you, we're going to straighten all of this stuff out. That's all I can say right now. I promise you.
Anything your fans? Anything you'd like?
I love my fans. Thanks for sticking there with me. Thank you guys for the order. I love
Dude, I wanted that hand touch. What is wrong with people? I don't understand that. I don't get it. Like, I just don't. He still has his fans. It's amazing. R. Kelly, do you think his public perception from his fans is ever going to change? I mean, he couldn't pay his own child support. They bailed him out from that, so he can't take care of his own family. Where is the line drawn? Is it kind of like a Donald Trump thing? Once you like him, and it's no going back?
I think that's what it is. I think that's a perfect way to sum it up too. Maybe even not even on the level of Donald Trump. I feel like people would turn their back on Donald Trump before they turn their back on R. Kelly.
Wow. Wow.
I don't know. R. Kelly out here got the girls chained up to the fence. Donald Trump out here grabbing them by. But I just don't know. Like, I mean, listen.
Donald Trump said he got shooters in the street too. He said, "Look, I got shooters. Look, I can go in New York City and shoot someone in the chest, and nothing will happen."
Bang. In the middle of Fifth Street.
But at least the P words that Donald Trump are grabbing have reached puberty. So I think we can't really compare the two.
Allegedly.
Oh, don't try and throw that on Mr. Trump. Oh, look at me, sound like Uncle Ruckus.
Wait, I'm glad you said that because it reminds me. This R. Kelly thing reminds me of the episode of the Boondocks where like Riley was out there standing for R. Kelly, and he was like, "And if R. Kelly go to jail, I'm gonna piss on your cat."
Oh.
Nasty.
Yeah, I never watched act like you ain't never watched the Boondocks.
I was too cultured.
Oh, you gave me the DVD set.
Lies, fair or foul. Fair or foul. I got two incidents from the basketball world that have infiltrated mainstream America this week. Russell Westbrook. I caught myself. I was about to say Wilson.
Every time I talk about this story today, I get tongue twisted saying his name. And I'm like, it's not even that hard of a name, but I won't say it again though, because I can't just get it straight out.
As soon as you say the Wilson always wants to come out. Westbrook was at a basketball game, and he went off on a fan who had some criticisms about him. Check it. This is the audio to what Russell said to the fan.
I'm gonna say one thing. I'll fuck him up. He said, I promise you. You see, I'm playing. I swear to God. I'll fuck you up. You and your wife. I'll fuck you up. No, fuck that. I promise you. Everything I love. Everything I love.
So yeah, he said, on everything I love, I promise you I will F you up. I will F you and your wife up if you could not understand what he said. This is his explanation for the incident.
How it started was young man and his wife in the stands told me to get down on my knees like he used to. And for me, that's just completely disrespectful to me. I think it's racial. I think it's just inappropriate in a sense of there's no protection for the players.
I bet if you didn't catch that, he said the man told him to get on his knees like he's supposed to because he had ice on his knees. The guy who said that did a brief mock interview, I guess, with the social media commentator who asked him what happened.
I mean, she was sitting down the entire time. Me and him were just, it was actually kind of having fun, to be honest.
You thought you were having fun?
Yeah, he was smiling at one point, and there was a lot of people because it was when, Joe would come by and poke Paul George in the eye, and then Joe goes over and apologizes immediately. Russ is just F-bombing and carrying on, acting a fool down here, and everybody's getting on him. And he had, I guess, heat. I thought it was ice. I just told him, I'm like, just sit down and ice your knees, bro. And he turned to me and he's like, that's heat. And I'm like, well, you're going to need it. And then it turned into not safe for work.
So that's what provoked his response. There was no swear words. I
never said a swear word to him. And everybody in the vicinity of it, and she never left us. Never said a word, hands in her lap. Never said a single swear word to him. Not one. So, like I said, initially I was like, oh, I'm talking with Westbrook, you know? I mean, the guy's one of the greats, but he's also classless. I don't care. He can threaten me all he wants. I was the one talking to him, but don't threaten a woman. She's 5 feet tall and 110 pounds, man. Never said a word to him. Her first NBA game ever. Welcome to the NBA, Jen.
Welcome to the NBA, Jen. Well, Twitter didn't take long to dig up this man's stuff. He's previously called Westbrook a piece of classless S, saying someone needs to kick his ass. He's also a Trump supporter and talked about an African country, saying it looks like a shithole to him. The NBA, for their part, the Utah Jazz, have decided to ban this fan, saying the Utah Jazz announced a permanent ban of the fan who engaged in the inappropriate interaction with Russell Westbrook last night. The ban is effective immediately and includes all arena events. The Utah Jazz will not tolerate fans who act inappropriately.
That's good.
That's right.
Westbrook, though, was also fined. He was fined $25,000 for directing profanity and threatening language to a fan the NBA announced on Tuesday afternoon. So Westbrook have been fined, guys. What you think?
Let me tell you something. That man better be glad. Well, there are two things. He better be glad I wasn't in the NBA. Because I'd have drug I'd have went Ron Artest on his behind.
You would have went in the stands? You would have went in the stands?
You don't say no nonsense like that to nobody. Like, what is wrong with you? I'd have climbed clean in them stands and I'd have cleaned his clock.
A lot of people had the problem with him saying that he would F up the wife. Russell, for his part, has said that the wife said it first and then the husband repeated it. Oh, sorry, the husband said it first and then the wife repeated it. So that's why he brought her into it. Ty, do you have a problem with him bringing the wife into it?
No, I mean, if you're going to beat somebody up 9 times out of 10, you got to back their wife to it. This is what it is.
That's it, Ty. Was good for the goose.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have an issue with. I mean, when people are talking trash back and forth, they say the craziest stuff. Like, he's not going to do anything to that person.
What's the craziest thing you said to somebody in a fight?
Oh, I don't act unseemly. I would ever.
Oh, you're a lie. I have a whole record. It's called "Be Say Ooh." If you if people would like to hear it, but I was just wondering if you had another crazy.
I don't
thing
know what you're talking about, and you can't prove anything. So I don't know. You need to stop.
Oh, I can't.
Guys, listen. I don't think we need to go there.
I feel like I'm like Kim Jong Un right now. Like, oh, I don't.
That guy reminds me of that incident that happened at McDonald's with the girl. When he's like, I was just asking you a question. I'm like, no, like that's what they, not they. I don't want to say it like that. I'm not going to make this like a race thing, but that's what people do. Like they do something to you, and then when you react, they want to back up as if they don't know that they offended you. I'm not saying he acted the way he should have acted because I don't think I would have responded. I would have just kind of ignored it. But you know, it is what it is. You gotta express yourself.
All right, Dex, did you have a problem with any of it?
Of course he does.
Look, I think Russell Westbrook was absolutely wrong. I feel like when you're working in an environment, it's competitive. People are going to be upset and say things, whatever. I just don't. I think as the professional, like you shouldn't respond to it. Like you're better than that. Like you're the one in the court. They paid to come see you. Like forget about them. So responding to them, I think was like wrong on his part. And I think like it gets to a point where it's like because that's not always happening. Every time fans are going back and forth with like players and stuff like that, or yelling out things that they probably shouldn't be yelling out, they're not getting suspended from games. If that was the case, then there would be nobody, watching Philadelphia Eagles games because all the fans are like that. But that's just what I have to say about it. You know?
I get that, and they always expect people to act professionally, like rise above, act professionally. But I mean, that's not always going to happen. Sometimes you're just having that type of day. Like I'm sure in most cases, he probably does ignore that stuff. But sometimes you're just having that type of day. Like you can't be expected to be perfect all the time. So like he went off, nobody got hurt. He had to pay a fine. Like we're good with it. Let's move.
But
on.
now my man can never come back to a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for him. Good for him. But the other thing I was thinking,
like you should just because it's commonplace, doesn't mean that it should be okay. I think that's good you got banned. Like, you're upsetting the players. It's time for you to go. There's no point in you being there.
But you know what the other thing I thought of, and it was one of the wise words from my grandmother.
Oh God.
Hit dog a holler.
What?
Hit dog will holler. No,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay, I got that.
Another basketball story that kind of went viral is what happened with the Knicks owner James Dolan. This happened during his arena, in his arena in Madison Square Garden. A fan had some choice words for him as he passed by while exiting the game, and James didn't like it.
Sell the team. You think I should sell the team? You want to not come to any more games? Why? Yeah, that's rude. It's an opinion. No, it's not an opinion. And you know what? Enjoy watching them on TV. Him, black. Bring him, him. Hold him for Kevin. Hold him for Kevin. Hold him for Kevin.
Hold him for Kevin. Who the fuck is Kevin? Kevin must have all the power.
Oh,
what Kevin is going to do? What is Kevin going to do once he gets there? Go punch him in the face, arrest him? Like, what is Kevin?
Kevin's gonna get his credentials, figure out who that guy is, and ban him from the arena. He's never gonna be like you said. Enjoy watching him on TV.
Enjoy watching him on TV. Bill, you like that little? That was nasty, wasn't it?
Oh, that was my kind of nasty. You in my arena watching my team play, telling me what you think I ought to do. Okay, sis. You act your wage.
Act your wage.
Come on.
Act what? Act your wage.
Come on, stay in your tax bracket. That's the problem. People need to just act their wage, stay in their own little tax bracket, and do what their money can afford to do. You don't make no decisions about selling no team. The only thing you can make a decision about is reselling your ticket on StubHub. Okay? That's what you worry about.
Contrary to William, a lot of people had the following feelings. A frustrated fan should be able to express his opinion as long as he is not disrespectful. What Dolan did is unacceptable, and he should be fined by the NBA. Tasha, he'd be fined for banning a fan from his stadium just for saying that he should sell the team.
Nope.
I mean, the Knicks have been awful for like the last 10 years, 15 years.
All right, Jason, watch your mouth now before you get banned too.
You don't gotta worry about me going up to New York.
I mean, how do they ban? Like they it seems like a lot of energy to go to ban someone. Like, doesn't it? Like, how do they actually go forth and like, actually
enforce it?
Well, apparently it's been done. Like I read a report today that a newscaster did that followed up on the story. Turns out he actually did ban the guy. So the guy actually did get banned. Apparently,
say my friend buys tickets and I show up to the game. Like, how are you gonna? What happens there?
Well, they probably got cameras and pictures all over the place.
They got your face plastered up like they do at Walmart on that little sign on that wall.
Anywhere, okay, these are a list of people who are banned there. Like, nobody's paying attention to them. Like, that's what a waste.
In our high school, we used to have a 7-Eleven right up the street from our high school, and kids would go in there and steal stuff. They would have these kids' pictures plastered up on the camera as you walk in. Like, it's like a Rolodex of pictures of people who can't come in. It's ridiculous.
In Center City, they do that too. It's like a lot of the stores that people steal out of. They'll take a picture of them.
It's like as soon as you walk in, you see it. Like,
I don't know about adults, but you're not allowed to do that with kids.
What is that going to do though? Like, if you see someone's picture as you walk in and you see them in the store, what you going to tell? Like, you go, "Oh, hey, the guy,
he's stealing again."
Or are you even going to know that's them? Like, if I don't know you and I walk past your picture, like, I'm not going to notice you in the store. Like, okay.
I feel like the only people who should have those pictures are the cash registers. Like, those are the only people that. Oh, I guess they don't need it at the cash register if they're stealing. So. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of no point of going to the cash register if they just. All right, moving on to racist. Ty's favorite segment, the segment that gets our blood boiling and gets Will telling the clear people, as he was saying.
Oh, I will not be on here with that.
No, me neither.
Neither will I. I'll have none of it.
Racist sounds out.
Black students said their teacher sold them to a white students in a mock slave auction. Headline: Details at 11. Parents say that the students were also asked to put imaginary shackles around their hands, feet, and necks. After they had those shackles put around their hands, feet, and necks, they were escorted back into the classroom where the white kids were pushed to bid on them, while teacher Rebecca Antonozzi acted as the auctioneer. When they got inside the classroom, she started a bidding process, going one, you know how them bidders be doing? She was doing the bidder voice. Dex, you know what I'm talking about? Dex, you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, yes, I do.
No, he's from Texas.
And apparently, the teacher said to another one of the white kids, "You're a wealthy white man," and started bidding at $300 for that particular slave. The statement from the teacher had this to say when they asked her about it. Well, her lawyer had this to say: "The portrayal of the history lesson that has been reported is inaccurate, out of context, contains false facts, and ignores the overwhelming support of Miss Antonozzi from dozens of parents at the school, including several letters of support from African American parents with children who have been taught by Miss Antonozzi. Miss Antonozzi loves her students and is beloved by them, to the extent that if anyone took an offense to a small portion of the overall lesson that day was used solely to emphasize the tragic injustice of slavery, it was certainly never intended." So are we giving Miss Antonozzi a second chance to teach the Black History Month lesson next year?
No. And she
What she can teach us is a lesson on the justice system when she gets from behind bars. That's what
you can't throw her in jail. What about a case study on the unemployment office, Dex?
Is it me or am I the only one? I know I have to be the only one because you guys are way more mature than I am. But the whole time I was sitting here, I was like, if I was in that class, they better had bid a lot of money for me. Like I better have been like 300 or higher. Like, don't play with me.
Well, they should have started bidding that for you, Dex.
5,000. Y'all got it.
No, we want expensive dates because he got them broad shoulders and that strong back.
You see it.
So if this guy was in this class, for you. First of all, I wouldn't have been bid on. All right,
don't want you.
Let me tell you something. Would not have happened. Miss Antonozzi would have got. It'd have been. Couldn't happen.
Would it have waited till the PTA meeting, or would you have had an impromptu parent-teacher conference?
Well, you know, in the 90s, we didn't have no cell phones, but I'd have went right to that main office and called their team right up. They in here trying to bid on me.
I can imagine that happening to William. I don't know why.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, I'd have called her right up, and she'd have came up there and tore that school into pieces, and Miss Antonozzi in her nose.
Ty, as the principal of the group, what punishment would you have doled out to Miss Antonozzi?
To be honest with you, I might whoop that teacher's ass. like screw this. Like that's enough of this political stuff. That's gotta be her ass. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's gonna really get through to these people. Like I can't keep writing people up and explaining to you like how ridiculous this is to do. Like, and you're not the first person. This got in the news already. Like, you didn't see.
It was a very small part. It was a very small part of her lesson.
Right. Like, what was the rest of the lesson? Like, I don't get it. What were you trying to do?
This was an auction. So
the Underground Railroad simulation, the cotton picking simulation, the getting whipped simulation. You know, all that stuff. So
I'd have to give. I'm telling you, I would have gave her an MMA simulation.
We're not going to joke about hitting women. That's not funny.
It was a very small part of the reprimand. I also wrote her up.
Do you know what's also not funny? Black kids actually having to sit in the classroom and relive something that was outlawed thousands of years. Like they shouldn't have. Like, are you kidding me? Or I would be flipping. Absolutely not. Flipping desks.
Can we just pray?
You was flipping desks. You'd be flipping desks any damn way.
You know I would.
You just look like you wasn't good.
Did y'all see the video of that kid snatching that teacher's wig off their head this week?
Another thing that wouldn't be happening to me.
They will snatch your wig off.
Y'all are so annoying.
That's about as Beyonce. Okay.
Okay. Time for Q&A. Bill?
It is time for Q&A. UQWA. You send us the questions about how terrible something in your life is going, and we fix it. Like, Iyanla can't fix everything.
Ladies this week.
We fixed everything.
No. Iyanla needs our help, and that's what we're here for.
Amen. All right, these are the categories. Go ahead, Bill.
So the categories are the nerve of this bath bombing, trying to pay me in food, GTFOH. And I can't really see that bottom one. Friend with potential benefits.
Potential benefits. Yes. The one that I recommend is number 1.
Okay,
Number
so
1 looks good. 2 looks good. 3 looks good. Okay.
So we're definitely doing number 1.
Okay.
Number 1's exceptional. So let's go ahead and just do that one right now.
I am a single mother of an adopted baby, and I am opting to formula feed since I can't lactate. Oh boy. I am a working mom as well, and found a home daycare provider who seemed amazing. She has 2 kids of her own, one a little older than my daughter, and has run this home daycare for 5 years or so. The only bump in the road was on the first day when I pulled out the formula in bottles, and she wrinkled her nose and said, "You feed her that slop?" I ignored the barb. I'm used to it. Gave a quick rundown and went on my way. Oh, I already see where this is going. 2 months later, this past Friday, I got off work early and decided to pick my daughter up early. There's a side door where parents can enter without knocking, so I did that. I started the sign-out process, and as I was doing so, the daycare assistant walked by and saw me. She tried to engage me with conversation, but I wanted to get my daughter, so I brushed by her. When I got to the area of the house where my daughter was, I about fell over. Oh, dear Jesus! Oh God! The daycare provider was nursing my. Oh my God!
All right, repeat that last sentence again.
The daycare provider was nursing my baby. Sweet Lord, I got tears in my eyes. I marched over to the baby from her arms and asked her if she was crazy. The provider said that she was saving my baby from chemicals I was trying to force into her body. Thank her for doing it all these months.
Oh my God.
I didn't say anything. I just grabbed the diaper bag and got the hell out of there.
What is going on?
But now I am not sure what to do. Obviously, I am not sending my daughter back there. But should I report her to the umbrella company she is under for home daycares? Or should I make a huge blast on social media? My sister says I should send out texts to the parents that have kids there so they can do their own check-ins. But that is too much, I think. Your thoughts? Oh.
Woo. I would do all the above. I don't know why you're picking one.
I text Bill in the middle of last week. I said, Bill, we got one question that you gotta read, but I want to see your reaction. So I ain't show it to him. This is it. That was a stellar question.
Oh
my gosh.
That was literally the best. That was the most entertaining thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, since the lactate one. Since the one that pulled the
that laxative in the lemonade?
That Duralax, in lemonade.
She said, I walked in and she was breastfeeding.
She said, I about fell over.
And the funny thing is, like, you're lucky I was doing it after all these months. Oh my God. Like, didn't you just put the baby down and just beat her ass? Like, how did you walk out?
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, because that's how I would remedy that. I'd have told her a new one. Quite literally.
My advice is the first thing you really should do is go over there and beat her ass. Like
Get that. And make sure it's a good one.
A good one. Bang your head against the wall.
Oh my God, no.
Old-fashioned one. It has to happen. Like, there's no way that you can let this slide. That egregious behavior cannot be tolerated. Like, it is what it is. Like, I might snatch a nipple off her.
Dex, what did you think when you heard? Did you about fall over too?
I think I'd be mortified. Like, I think if you from the beginning, though, when you first like showed her that you're bottle feeding your child and they had an issue with it, for me, honestly, I wouldn't feel comfortable keeping my child in that person's care just because they're already judging you as a parent. So like off the bat, like we can't like engage together.
Yeah,
I can just picture that daycare worker trying to stop her from going, and she just blew past it.
I think that part is actually worse, and it's crazy because just because of that, I would actually like tell other parents about it because like it's like you guys are running the operation where you are protecting the BS, and that was loud.
Why are you just breastfeeding people's babies? Like, why do you have a supply of breast milk? Like,
because she's out here breastfeeding them babies. That's why. She out here giving this.
The thing that kills me is this is not something that happened once or twice. She said, "You're lucky I did it for all these months."
Oh
my goodness! Like I just went screaming.
Let me tell you something. This woman needs to go back to this daycare, and she needs to take one of them cans, a Similac that she's been paying for all these months, and knock that woman clean upside her head with it. That's the first.
Well, according to the letter, she has a kid, a daughter, or two kids. One a little older than
what that mean?
The writer's daughter.
What that mean?
That's why she has breast milk.
What was good for the geese is good for the gander.
Good for the come on here. I'm telling you.
That's what she said.
It was good for the goose. It's good.
You sticking your nasty titty in my baby's mouth.
Home care provider said, "Look, I just got finished feeding my baby. You want some? Come on, hop on up here."
Who next? Who next? Who hungry? You still hungry?
All right, next one. Who are we going with? Do we ever get like a solution? I don't know. You guys just beat her up.
I gave the solution already. Here's the final solution. You need to go back over there and give her a good behind whooping. Like Ty said, an old-fashioned one where you slinging her from to and fro, where you gotta on the door, knock over the lamp. That's number one. That's the first thing.
Ass whooping. Pull her nipples,
I mean, a good one.
Titties, everything.
We don't support
you pull a shirt off, Ty. Hey, she got the
kick her in the stomach.
Do two of us not support violence?
Old school.
The second thing she needs to do.
Oh my goodness, guys, we get it. Like,
you need to blast her on every social media. You need to call the Better Business Bureau. You need to call the police because that's sexual assault at this point.
That's
sexual assault.
Sexual assault.
All right. What's the next one we go with?
My child's throat.
Bath bombing, trying to pay me in food, or a friend with potential benefits.
Which one do you think is better, Jason?
The funniest one is probably trying to pay me in food. I don't remember what bath
let's
bombing
go with
is. Yeah. Oh, bath bombing. Yeah, that wasn't really funny. If we want to laugh.
Is bath bombing about sex?
Nah, not really.
Oh.
It's about business.
Here we are. I'm a college sophomore. Recently, I house sat for my roommate's parents, who went on vacation with my roommate. Side note, the parents moved to the same town their daughter decided to go to school in.
Annoying.
They asked me to watch their cats and make sure they're fed and okay. One was a kitten and the other was an older cat, but not its mother.
R. Kelly.
Did Trump grab them? It was a relatively easy house sitting gig. I watched them for about 3 hours total each day. When they got back, the mom and I chatted for a few minutes. Then she said, "Well, it would be tacky to pay you, so I'll just take you out to lunch sometime."
What?
I felt awkward and said, "Oh, okay, sure." I wasn't sure what else to say. I got my things and left. It's not as if she and I were friends. This was my first time meeting her. I'm trying to pay my way through college with a work-study gig and any other odd jobs I can pick up. Every little bit counts, even if it's just $20. She's a nice woman, and I'm happy to get lunch with her sometime. But was I wrong to expect some payment?
Isn't it weird that I think the solution to all these is the fight? Like, I might just be having a bad day.
Now we're talking, Ty.
I mean, I feel like if you're a college student, every little bit counts. I feel like then this meal could count. I'm not saying it should count, but it could count. Meals cost money, and if she's willing to treat you to a dinner, I feel like you should take it and make sure you get something big enough so you can have lunch for tomorrow morning. There you go.
It's never disrespectful to pay somebody for their services or tacky. I don't get.
Yeah, that's tacky. I don't understand what that means. Who has denoted that it's tacky to pay somebody for their service?
Well, you know, sometimes like when it's like you go places, you're like, no, I don't want the money or whatever. Like, please don't give it to me. She's probably experienced. The mom probably experienced that a lot, so she's probably like,
don't assume it's tacky to pay me. Pay me, and I'll let you know if it's tacky.
That's it.
Okay. Well, I mean that too.
So
what should she do? Like, do you think? Oh, well, I guess not what she should do.
You got a follow-up question. I have a follow-up question. Because, like, I really need to know, did y'all discuss payment before you decided to house sit these cats?
No.
Yeah.
Like, if she just was like, oh, come on over, girl, get these cats done. And she ain't say nothing about, like, you need, these are something, like, I know it's hard for some people to have these kind of conversations, but especially, like, with money, y'all need to be, so am I expecting some sort of payment? Is this, like, a favor? And then when you came...
I think for me, as a person who has difficulty having those conversations, I would be more on the side of like, they're giving me something. Like, you know what I mean? If it was just like, okay, thank you, have a good day, and give you a pat on the back, then I'd be like, oh, but I like, you know, took time out of my day to do this. Like, I deserve something. But because she's promising her a lunch and, you know, she'll take her out or whatever, like, I think that's sufficient for payment.
I mean,
Dex, what you be doing? What you be doing? What people need to pay you for? What you be babysitting cats?
Well, you know, I don't do nothing with no cats. But for me, it's just like sometimes like say I'll go out to dinner with somebody or whatever, like a group of people, and then I like put it on my card, and they're like, "Oh, I'll cash up you or whatever." Like, I'm never gonna be like, "You got to make sure you." I just don't care.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not the same though. She rendered a service, like so. That's like I'm
okay.
texting
Well,
you
okay,
like,
same thing. The same thing happened to me. So my sister went on a trip. She went on vacation, and she asked me to come over and watch my niece. And she told me like, "Oh, I'll give you like money to." She lives in New Jersey. So she's like, I'll give you money to get across the bridge or whatever. I never got it. But I'm not saying
it's not the same. It's not the same because that's your sister. She said she was meeting this woman for the first time. She's meeting this woman for the first time.
I wonder how many days it was because it doesn't say how many days the vacation was. It just says she watched her for 3. She watched them for 3 hours total each day. So I feel like minimum wage is about $10.25, ain't it? So I feel like
no, it's
that
not.
should be about
$10.25 where?
Oh, California. So like,
yeah, that's because y'all libtards over there.
But how much is it in Philly?
40, no,
minimum rate? How much is minimum wage in Philly?
$7.25.
Y'all can hold up. I thought didn't we pass like a law or something that said minimum wage?
Before we passed the law, it was $5.
Right.
$5?
It was like $5.25.
I don't know. I don't know about minimum wage. I'm just talking crap.
But still, okay, that's at least $30 right there if you're doing a $10 rule.
Nobody's giving me $30 to house get a cat. Like I could have took the damn cat with me. Let's go.
Hey, $50 would have been reasonable.
$50. I think $50 would have been reasonable. You know, multiple days. You gotta go over there.
That would have been tacky.
That's crazy to me.
Well,
thanks for Q&A.
One more thing. Going forward now, if you don't want to pay something, like when T-Mobile or like Sprint or like student loan call you and they'll be like, you got a payment, be like, you know, giving you payment will be tacky. So
I'm about you lunch.
You know I'm going for it,
right? Being tacky would be, I mean, paying would be tacky. I think we should just sleep together. Move on.
BroTalkLive.com/questions to get in your Q&A questions. Just a time. All right, so we always do March Madness each year. This year, we're also going to do Bro Talk March Madness as we do each and every year. This year, though, because a lot of Democratic candidates are talking about reparations, we decided to do the March Madness bracket on reparations. All right.
Hey, you.
Yeah. So Senior Vice Executive Producer Dexter Stuckey and I came up with this category where we're going to brainstorm the best forms of reparations that we can get. So I think straight hard cash is going to be number one. If it's good, we're going to write it down. If it's not good, we're not going to write it down. We need 8 of them to make up our bracket, okay? So I think straight up cash, of course, is the preferred method of tender, correct?
Yes, I do think that I had that on my list as well, but I think we got to make it like, we can't just say cash. I think if every African American in the country is getting money, like it has to be like $390. Like it can't be some crazy amount.
$319.
Where you get
What the hell is that going to be?
I'm just saying, if everybody's getting it plus our descendants, we don't have money like that anyway.
Ain't nobody told them to have slaves. That's their business. Let them work it out. They've been slaving us away all these years. Figure it out. Slap us the money. 40 acres
Right, so
in the mule.
About these reparations. So do you guys want one lump sum that's paid to our generation, like one person in a generation, or do you want reparations for the entirety of your lineage? Because that's a whole different story.
Realistically do reparations is 0% interest on come up loans, like student loans.
I don't want no loan.
I mean, realistically, we're not going to give you a house, but you can take out a loan with 0 interest and just pay back what you took over the years. I think that's
I don't want to. If I'm taking it, I don't want to pay it back because I shouldn't have been here in the first place.
I said they got where they at.
Because I shouldn't have been here in the first place. So why should I pay y'all anything?
You here now? Don't start tripping.
So should we write down 0% loans?
I don't want no loan. I don't want no loan.
But still 0%. Like
0%. I don't care if it's negative. I don't care if they got to pay the interest.
Well, the goal today is just to throw out like a bunch of suggestions, then we can eliminate some stuff, and then we can actually have a bracket to put together. Another one I put on mine is no Michael Jackson slander.
No Michael Jackson slander.
Yeah.
Why? Black people love Michael Jackson? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
You don't love Michael Jackson.
No, but like other blacks do, and he's dead now. So I feel like we probably got to leave him alone.
All right, Bill, do you support that? No
Yes,
Michael Jackson slander.
Absolutely.
Stay out of jail.
Do you support that, Ty?
Ty beat you up.
No MJ slander. Okay. Mine's is going to be I would like the 40 acres and a mule.
I wrote that too.
Since mules have evolved, I think mules the new translation for mules is Mercedes.
Yes.
So I feel like 40 acres and a Mercedes.
I said that sounds right.
No, because then they're gonna start getting shifty with those Mercedes, putting tricks on them.
they go put the car bids thing on it where they cut you off if you don't pay your bill. That's so nasty.
I put
got anything else?
Yes, I said calling the cops on blacks for being black will result in a mandatory year in jail and a fine paid to that American you called the cops on.
I like that. So say it again.
Calling the cops on blacks for being black will result in a mandatory year in jail and a fine paid to that American.
Snitching fines.
Yeah.
Snitching. Now come on here. How about get rid of all our student loans?
I wrote that too. Yep. For us and our descendants.
And that's it.
Now, would you rather have your student loans forgiven, or would you rather have free college? Because what mine was, my suggestion was free college whenever I want to go for the rest of my life.
No, I'm not going back.
I think free college for a college that you actually qualify for. Like, why would you get free college anywhere you want to go?
But listen,
we're doing reparations. They're paying us back for the years when we couldn't.
Free college, you apply for. I mean, you would qualify for it.
Look, if Aunt Becky can sit here and pay for her kids going to any college, I feel like I should be afforded that same.
Here's what's interesting though.
Kind of ass piece of crap with me in the school that I think is prestigious.
Georgetown University actually did that for the descendants of some slaves who were sold in order to keep Georgetown University open. Like they provided free education for the descendants of those individuals.
All right, so are we doing student loan forgiveness or free college?
Both.
They would have to do both because like people already got loans. Don't start it free now. I done win already.
All right.
That ship has sailed.
Black History Month should be extended.
And we need to change the month. It's in the coldest month of the year.
It'll be Q1. Will be Black History Month, January, February, and March.
So you'd rather have that instead of money?
Huh?
You'd rather have that instead of money?
Don't keep that.
I'm just saying, like, as another option that we have, like.
I don't feel like that's worth it. Is that worth something? I don't feel like Black History Month is worth anything.
Wait a minute.
I mean,
stop.
I'm saying like as far as value wise, of course it's worth something, but as far as monetary value or something tangible, I don't feel like it's worth it.
We need to put together a reparations package, and in that package, we're going to shift. Okay,
Black History Month is going to be like a subscription service, like HelloFresh.
Okay, this is included in the package. We're going to have the premium months for Black History Month. So let's give us May, June, and July. Okay.
Cookout season.
Cookout season is Black History Month. So
I like that.
See, we get May, June, and July in addition to this stuff here, all of this. Y'all owe us.
Also, I want the person that says there's no such thing as white privilege put in jail immediately. No trial.
Immediately.
No trial. Lock them up.
Because listen, right after slavery, we had Jim Crow, so we ain't got a break yet.
So who do you want in jail? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Any person that says there's no such thing as white privilege goes to jail instantly. Like I want them locked up live on television, and I don't want a trial. I want them in jail for life.
What if we did 8 more years of Obama?
Oh, would you take that over reparations? I mean, over cash though? Maybe. Maybe. Okay.
Take his ass home. He already got his money. I need my money.
It's my money, and I need it now.
So should we write down 8 more years of Obama or no?
I'm not taking that over no money.
He got his reparations already.
Ain't done nothing for us anyway.
Trying to get ours.
All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 right now on the screen right here. If you can't see, we have 0% loans, free college, cookout, cookout season. That's what that should say. That should be a Z.
How y'all gonna vote for cookout season but not vote for 8 more years of Obama?
Cookout season is much more beneficial to the black community than Obama is.
4 acres and a mule. Straight cash, homie, which I feel like that's just going to win. I feel like we should just take that out. Snitching fines, no Michael Jackson slander, and student loan forgiveness.
So should we do it without cash? Because you know cash is going to win.
Cash is definitely going to win.
Let's take cash out and put 8 more years of Obama.
Ugh.
All right.
All of a sudden, y'all not a fan of him no more, huh?
I love Obama.
We're fans of our money more.
Yeah, we're tepid. We're definitely tepid.
Like Obama gets like $1 million just to speak somewhere. He got his. I need mine.
You know.
And his wife out here traipsing to and fro, up and down everybody's timeline, dancing and making that money.
And her wife, her book sitting on every black table.
Every black coffee table in America.
Like, I have Obama's book.
People out here pretending like they read got her book on that table. People have slid their Bibles to the side and got her book right next to it.
Book coming. All right, so this is the thing we're gonna, I guess, figure out the rankings later. 0% loans, free college, cookout season, 40 acres and a mule, 8 months of Obama, snitching fines, no Michael Jackson slander, student loans. Those are the bracket challenges for reparations. March Madness bracket. That was ridiculous. And speaking of ridiculous, it's time for Dex's BS football.
All right, guys. So this is really funny coming off the heels of the whole Felicity Huffman, I'm Becky, Lori Loughlin stuff. So basically, a school in North Carolina is deciding, like, let's help these kids out. Let's make sure that they're not leaving these schools with low grades. So they're saying that they would like them to lower the grade point average from a 15% scale to a 10% scale. So if a person gets a 60 on the test, instead of that being an F, that'll now be a D. So you have to get like a 40 or below. in order to get an F. So like, you know, that kind of helps the kids out. Like you know, like you're not failing. Because you're not failing as easily.
Easy. You know how hard it is to get a 50 on a test?
It's got to be hard to get to fail for the kids.
It's already hard to get a 50 on a test.
Well, now you have to get a 40. So like back in the day,
they don't know shit.
Back in the day, there was a widely popular video. It went viral. It's called before viral was even a thing. It's called 2 Girls, 1 Cup. In the video, the 2 girls would defecate inside of a cup and then they would proceed to eat it. So now there's a new one out. It's called 2 Guys, 2 Shots. So what it is, it's 2 males. One of the cups are filled with urine. The other cup is filled with a woman's menstrual cycle.
Oh.
Ew.
And then the 2 guys drink it, but it's a competition then because they're rushing to see who could finish the drink first. Doctors are saying, like, do not do this because there's bacteria in both urine and blood. And in the final story, there's a new company.
You better not been making that up. You better not been making that up.
There's a new company called Alabaster who is actually going to revamp the Bible. So they said, like, the old Bible, it's 17th century, it's boring, like, it's not exciting. So it's an Instagrammable Bible. So what it is, it's a new generation of the Bible. It's nice pictures. It's a sleek page design. It's minimal. It's not as big and don't do that to me. It's not as big. It doesn't take up too much room on your coffee table, and you can do it right on your phone through Instagram, and it's aesthetically pleasing. All right, so guys, which 2 are true? Which one's a lie?
Question: Is Jesus black in the Instagram Bible?
Well, the 2 guys who are doing this are Asian, so probably not.
If Jesus is Asian, I'm out. Let's do. You better not be making up that second story.
He better be making it up.
You better be not.
Better not be. The sickness to think of something like that. Dex, I'm worried for you. What was number 1 again?
Number 1 was the grade point average being dropped in North Carolina. The proposal was to drop it.
No, it seemed like that's something stupid they would do. I'm gonna go with the last one's fake. The last one's fake.
So
gotta be fake.
The Bible's fake.
I know for a fact that North Carolina. I know for a fact that North Carolina one is true because I actually read that and like me and my coworkers talked about that. So I know that's true. I'm gonna go with the lie. Is that second story?
That story gotta be a lie. There's no way.
Oh,
but I gotta. If that third story is true, I gotta.
If that's a lie, you are sick for even thinking about it.
But if that third story is true, I do have a word for them people. Okay.
Dex, you're gonna have some prayers for Dex if that's
the story that is false is they're not doing anything with the grade point averages. Like they're not gonna worry about it.
Oh,
what? What? Hold up,
okay,
wait.
Well, that's a lie. I'm lying, but now I'm worried because I made up that second story. Now I feel
Oh my Jesus! Oh my goodness!
I don't even know why it came to me.
Don't think I had to think of something like that. Oh my God!
What is happening?
That is disgusting.
You gotta get you some therapy.
That middle story better be true. You sick fuck.
You sick F.
Dex, you gotta get some therapy for that, man.
God,
and let me tell these 2. When you said that his name is Alabaster,
the company's called Alabaster. Yeah.
Well, let me tell Alabaster something. People are going to end themselves up in hell with you and this tomfoolery, trying to change up the Bible so it's aesthetically pleasing and it sounds good to the people. No, we don't want it.
If it's all the same, it just looks prettier. Like, why can't it just be pretty?
Absolutely not. No, because there's actually, like in the new international version of something that you non-denominationals read, they've actually taken out like very vital parts of the Bible and y'all just gloss right over it in the non-denominational church.
They've always taken out parts of the Bible. If they do.
I know.
Nick said they would take out parts too.
Even your precious King James version.
Absolutely not. I got me an apocryphal too. Get your life.
Okay.
I as a matter of fact, I got a copy of the Dead Sea Scrolls sitting there.
You got the actual scrolls?
I went to the Dead Sea and got them out myself.
Oh, girl. All right, time for seats. Speaking of seats, Brandy was called lip singing this weekend across the seas, and it seems like something's going on with her throat. So pray for Brandy. Hashtag pray for Brandy right now.
Yeah, I was upset when she goes overseas.
All right, well, let's pray.
All right,
Lord,
go ahead, man.
I mean, she's been singing for a long time, Jesus. We want to ask that you would teach her how to lip sync properly. that she would be able to fill up an audience, oh God, and that if anybody like her
Stop peeking.
godmother Nippy ever taught anything, it was how to properly lip sync like Nippy did for that 1996 Super Bowl game. In Jesus' name, we pray, amen.
Amen.
Were you praying to like you pray to your God, or were you praying to the alabaster God?
Hashtag your God.
Hashtag
Time for seats.
It's time
Bill?
to see.
Oh, sorry, Ty.
I
Forgot. Switch it up.
Yeah.
My bad.
I like to just bring people news from the neighborhood before.
Here we go. News. Hashtag news from the neighborhood.
From the neighborhood.
Before I
Come
go,
on, segment.
So if you live in Philadelphia, you know that SEPTA is always on strike, and I'm giving them a seat, not because they're on strike again.
Sorry for the audience who don't know what SEPTA is. Sorry for the audience who don't know what SEPTA is. It's the public transportation
It
line.
stands for the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority.
There you go.
So I'm always late to work. Everybody knows that. Like, don't expect me. Don't schedule me. I won't be there. I'll be there just a little bit late. But that morning, I was having the perfect morning, including being on time for work, until a SEPTA bus driver tried to make a left turn and got stuck and could not maneuver the bus to get out my damn way. I was stuck there for 15 minutes while he tried to maneuver that bus back and forth. The nerve of you to go on strike. They're paying you too much already. You can't even drive the damn bus.
Was that it's the police officers?
It's the police officers that's on strike, Ty.
They can't. They need to be. Well, he need to go shoot the people who drive the buses. You need to police them because they're not putting in their training hours. They're always on strike.
Do not support violence against SEPTA workers.
On strike now. The other ones will be on strike next.
That is true though.
Ty, everybody striking except us.
They can't even drive the damn bus.
Ty, what did you listen to during those 15 minutes that you was stuck in that car? Because you listened to
Myself curse and my horn beat.
Did you turn down the radio so you could hear your thoughts better?
And then I hit reverse fast and angrily.
Jason, what did he do, Jason?
He turned down the radio so he could hear his thoughts better. You ever go to somebody's neighborhood, you looking for a house, you turn down the radio so you can hear something?
Yo, like, remember when Hookah Bean's wife called when she couldn't find that house?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's how it be, man.
My seat goes to SEPTA, and they better not go on strike again.
I have a fairly quick seat. So the other day it snowed, so I was outside and I was dusting the snow off my car.
It snowed over there? Really?
Yeah. And my neighbor, who I've seen before, but I've never really met the guy before, he comes over and he was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm from Texas." And he's like, "Okay, I could tell you where I'm from around here the way you were knocking the snow off the car." I was using my hand to do it, my arm or whatever, because I don't have one of those things, like I forget the name of it, but I don't have one of those. Plus, it was a light snow, so it was like no big deal. So then the guy's like, "You know what, let me help you knock some of the snow off." So he started to knock some of the snow off on the side, and I'm like, "I don't really need you to do that, but okay, whatever." He's like, "This is how you do it." And he's knocking the snow off my car, showing me how to do it.
No, I want you to stop. I want your help.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, but I got to get to work anyway. So you knock yourself out. So he's knocking the snow off. But mind you, I'm still doing the rest of it. So I have to sit here and listen to him talking to me. And he's like, "My name is Andrew. This is my dog named Jackson. And together we made $25. And I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, so he's talking and talking and talking with him as I'm cleaning the car off. And then he goes, What are you getting ready to go to work?" And I was like, "Yes." So I'm knocking the car off or whatever. Older white guy. I think he means well, but this is my MF is racist though. Because then he goes, "What do you do? Drive for Uber?" I said, yes, I do. I drive for Uber. And I'm not continuing to knock this off the car. He was like, "Okay, well," then he said again, "I knew you weren't from around here though, but I'm shocked that you said Texas." I was like, "Really?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I thought you were going to say you were from Kenya." And I was just
I thought you was one of them niggers from Kenya.
When he said that, like, I stopped and like not laughed, but like I was like, "What?"
Did you choke?
I got in the car and
Like,
just went about my business, but he just has to be seated. Like, that was a bit much for me.
Oh my gosh, from Kenya.
For Kenya.
Dex, don't you ever let another man knock no snow off your car, okay?
That's
Otherwise, he
could
will
be
be
distressed. How was he helping you?
right. He will be tricking you out like that man was at IHOP.
Then, he grabbed me a booty. He talking about something.
We dating now.
Leaning over the back of you, whispering in your ear, blowing.
What are y'all talking about?
Why is he flirting with you?
And also, he's got to be seated because he had 3 teeth in his mouth, and you guys know how I am with teeth. Like 3 of them, and all 3 of them were like discolored. You got to get away from me.
What was it? Different colors?
Like it was yellow, it was gray, and off-white.
I guess he can taste the colors of the wind. My seat is going to go to, of course, Donald Trump. So Donald, this week in Donald Trump news, really it's for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. She was doing a press conference with Jim Acosta, and Jim Acosta was talking about the treatment that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar was getting because they called her anti-Semite. Because basically she said the way that we're helping Israel is like we're helping a foreign country. Because we're giving aid to Israel and money's transactions happening and stuff like that. And she quote said it's all about the Benjamins. People called her an anti-Semite for that.
Well, the other part of that is that they completely stopped aid to Palestine.
Exactly. And so what happened was during that whole argument that she was trying to make, they decided to just condemn her, which overshadowed the entire argument that she was happening, that she was trying to have. My frustration comes that when people shout out, they claim that something is offensive to them. They completely overshadow the actual point. And the same thing happened in the whole hearing for Michael Cohen, when another Congresswoman, Rashida Tlaib, said something about them bringing out a black woman as a prop and called that racist. And they had a whole big showdown about whether or not what she said, calling someone racist, was racist. And I'm just tired of people trying to censor people by saying that something is either anti-Semitic or racist. Recognize the point that someone is trying to make and stop trying to trip over whether something that someone said called you an anti-Semite or a racist. It's ridiculous. Like the amount of vitriol in politics now, you can't trust any of these people because everyone just has an agenda, and I'm sick and tired of it. And I would just like to get back to the days we could talk about substantive issues in the world, but it seems like those times are gone. So my seat goes into the entire Republican Party as usual. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who said that Donald Trump has condemned Steve King to her privately, whatever that means, but he has not done so publicly. And it's a shit show, and I'm tired of it. So Nancy Pelosi this week, Bill, said that she's not going to fight for impeachment. She said that she thinks it divides the country. I'm not sure if she's just saying that to be coy or if she really means it, but something needs to happen to where we could get this country back to where we're not hating each other as often as it seems like we are.
You want to make is there ever a point in America's history where we were not hating each other as often as
I mean, and then it didn't seem as prevalent in the 80s and the 90s, in the early 2000s.
Because there were because cell phone and social media wasn't a thing. Now you can catch it.
No, I'm not saying racist stuff didn't happen. I'm just saying as far as the politics, it didn't seem so divisive. That's just what I'm saying. Bipartisanship seemed to be able to work a little bit more.
I guess we should ask the communities affected by crack cocaine. Should we ask people affected by 3 strikes?
Yeah, but they didn't have any arguments about it. The Democrats just accepted it, so they moved on. At least we were together. At least they were unified.
Interesting. Unified against us.
Yeah. All right. Anything else?
Oh wait, yeah, I do. I do have a real quick. I want to give like a shout out to St. Joe's University. They hosted a Holocaust symposium today, and I had the privilege of meeting and talking to a Holocaust survivor today. Her name was Betty Svet. She was born in the former Czechoslovakia. And I'm just grateful for the opportunity to like share with her today. So
she watched the show.
Do you think she's watching the show? Exactly.
Here's the thing. I told her about it, and she said she'd mention it to her grandkids. So here's the
I love how we said it at the exact same time.
Did you talk about her for what she did?
Same 5 words.
I plugged this thing to her, and she was like, "Well, I'll tell. I'll never mind."
So she watches the show. Anything else you guys want to say? Any shout outs you want to give to any party people out there?
Also,
Thanks
shout out
everybody
to
for tuning in and watching.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Mr. Lightfoot, thanks for watching. We appreciate your support.
All right, amen. Podcast drops tomorrow. Also check us out on Instagram as well. We do have no idea when our Twitter page is going to be back up, but thank you everybody for supporting us on the Instagram page. We got a ton of feedback for the R. Kelly story, so just keep it up. If you like a story, comment on it and like it and share it, because that is how we get all of our exposure. Shout out to everyone that's subscribed to us on the iTunes channel, as well as Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and the such. Dex had, if you haven't checked out Dex podcast this week, Industry Friends, he had on one of his one of his athletic friends talking about fitness and a lot of other things that get you moving. Something I learned this week was about labels. That the guy said he doesn't like labels, and that labels restrict you to what did he say? Labels restrict you to what you currently are, or something like that. Or no, he said labels restrict you to your totality. And yeah, I agree with that. I don't like that. So if you like Dex's banter that he gives here, check out his podcast, Industry Friends, on all platforms. All right, that is an ad. I expect to be paid accordingly. For Dex, for Ty, for Bill, this has been another edition of Bro Talk Live. We will see you all next week. Peace.
He gonna take you out to lunch.